Thank you so much. I recall in the 9th Parliament, we presented the petitions of the war victims. Parliament passed resolutions. Amidst the resolutions were compensation, payment of school fees for these children, resettling those who suffered during the war, and many others. Nothing was done. On the 10th Parliament again, the same issues were raised. Up to now, nothing is being done as government is taking seriously. This one is an indication that government is taking the war that took place in northern Uganda very lightly. If you compare with what happened in South Sudan. South Sudanese, the laws were passed, policies were passed, and right now, many of them were compensated. And up to now, they are still being paid. Yet the suffering could not be compared with what happened in northern Uganda. So I pray that government should take very serious steps and really help these people. You know, when government failed to act, I think as leaders, we may not take it very lightly, because these people, many of them, they have nowhere to stay. Many of their children are not going to school, and the majority are landless since they are born from the bush. So please, government should take this matter very seriously.
And the enactment of this transitional justice bill policy that has been that was approved by the cabinet in 2019. What will it, what will be its impact, to the people who suffered from armed conflict in northern Uganda?
I recall Honorable Leandro Komakechi in the 10th Parliament presented the voice, and he presented a private members bill in which the cabinet approved. And when this is passed into law, it means it will open ground for our people to be compensated. That is the gist of the matter. We wanted a reparation, we wanted these people to be compensated so that they are fully resettled. You know, when something is passed as law, it's very simple to implement. Any other government that comes, even if it is not yet done immediately, they will use the same law to make sure our people are compensated. As members of parliament, we are fighting that let the law be passed so that we do things in an orderly manner. Let our people be resettled and compensated.
Victims demand that the government Uganda provide monetary compensation to deceased victims and survivors as reparation for the loss of life, injuries, trauma, and loss of property sustained in different massacres and attacks during the conflict in northern Uganda. Approximately 2,500 civilians lost their lives in 18 massacres between 1981 and 2004 in locations including Abia, Balonyo, Bushoro, Atiak, Odek, Pagat, Lokodi, Abok, Obalanga, Ombashi, Acholpi, Mokora, Moshwini, Parabomona, Mokora, Kapwele, Omot, and Pajule. Many of these victims and survivors has never received compensation or support from the government. To the contrary, our guests of honor, to the contrary, the government has been quick to compensate victims of tragedies just as the Kiatondo bombings of 2010 and ADF terrorist victims of 2021. Second, livelihood rehabilitation. Victims who lost valuable productive assets like oxen, ox-laws, and other livelihood assets during the conflict, especially in massacre sites identified above, demand for livelihood rehabilitation in the form of oxen, ox-law, and cattle to boost agricultural production and food security in their household. Victims also demand agricultural equipment, such as armed tractors and irrigation equipment, to boost agricultural production in the face of climate change and uncertain weather patterns that cannot sustain rain agriculture. Since many of these victim associations have established village saving and loan scheme, victims also demand for startup capital to boost income generation, especially for the physical injured victims, such as landmine survivors, with reduced ability to engage in hard or physically demanding labor or activities. This support can be channeled through the victims' association since they are already established. Number 3, redress of land rights of formerly abducted women and their children born of war. Many formerly abducted women and their children born of war still feel unwanted and stigmatized in their families and larger community. They face pressure or threats over access to and inheritance rights of customary land. Many children born of war suffer more stigma as they become of age, as they are seen as a threat to land and inheritance rights of the family. As a result, many of them have left their ancestral homes and have moved to live anonymously in town peripheries, where formerly abducted women and their children born of war are unable to reclaim their land rights and or denied land at their ancestral homes.
Foil. Thank you.
Amen.